The typical woman that comes to Craine House, she's very young, 23 to 26 years of age. All of them have had some type of trauma in their lives.
Someone who was convicted, most likely of a felony, perhaps forgery, theft.
The majority of the women have faced trauma or domestic abuse or even sexual abuse in the course of their life.
A lot of bridges have been burned because of the women's continuous incarceration.
I got into drugs and stuff really young, pretty much with my family, with my mother mostly. So it's just kind of the life I was raised in. I was arrested in 2009 for manufacturing methamphetamines. Got me 3 years probation. I only made it through 2 of them, and I got a probation violation for theft and forgery. I knew I was going to prison.
We are a women's work release center. Our job is to help women get self-sustaining employment for the future. What sets us apart from other work release centers is our involvement with mothers.
We remain the only facility in the state of Indiana that allows moms with their children to serve out their executed sentence, allowing the moms to be in here with their children infant to 5.
I've been in corrections since 1983. When I first started corrections, it was the lock them up and throw away the key type of mentality. But even back then, Craine House was trying to say, no, we need to do more in a way of evidence-based practice. We need to do more in a way of programming and connection with their mother and the child. They were ahead of the game.
Craine House started in 1978 by the late Bishop John P. Craine. From 1978 to 1993, Craine House was considered more of a transitional housing for women leaving the prison system. But in 1993, the board decided that the mission should evolve to include the women's children. And so that's really what Craine House is today. We moved to our new home on Michigan Road. So now we have went from a 9-bed facility up to a 40-bed facility.
For many of the moms, it is about not only teaching them how to parent their own child, but by us going through that process, in many ways, we're actually reparenting them. We are giving them some of the structure that maybe they didn't have in their growing up.
We're trying to break that entire chain, and that's where we're a little bit different. We are focused on changing that life and those lives, but that then will contribute to the success for my kids' generation and their children's generation.
When a judge does a sentence, frequently we know that the offender in front of us, that their parents were involved in the criminal justice system. And so you're always concerned about the cycle of violence. And Craine House gives us one opportunity to not only have an impact on the current generation, but future generations as well.
We require accountability in terms of providing us with information about where they've been and what they've been doing and things like that. That's going to build that responsibility in them.
My problem that I was having was basically responsibility, like facing up for my problems, stop blaming everybody. I'm a mother, so take care of my kids, and that's one part that I was lacking. Just be an adult, grow up.
Craine House is the very next step prior to going home. So we want them to become self-sufficient. They need to find employment, but they first need to find a good daycare, and they need to go out and get their state ID and birth certificates and health insurance for themselves and children.
If you have an individual walking out the door without those skills, they're more at risk. And without employment, there's been studies completed that the majority, and I mean the vast majority of individuals that return to the Department of Corrections were unemployed when they were arrested.
We work with them through Modern Day Therapy, who is our clinical partner, to provide them with group, individual counseling, family counseling. We have a computer lab that gives us 12 computer stations and a nice classroom area for our high school equivalency exams, for our financial literacy programs, a child development space and area.
I take substance abuse here. I take anger management here. I have one-on-one counseling. They can get you connected to other programs. Like they have Strive and Impact that help you with like job readiness. They have a lot of great programs here.
One of the programs we offer is a food service culinary program, and we're trying to provide the women new skills that will initially get them into an entry-level position, but hopefully will take them from just regular employment into a career.
I've been at Craine House for 13 months. What I accomplished, I mean, it sounds small, but it's things I've never done in my entire life. I'm clean. I have a job. I've held that job for 13 months. I am a manager. I am in training to be an assistant GM, and that's in 13 months. You know, it makes me think, wow, what can I do in 2 years? What can I do in 3 years?
One of the things that I'm most proud of is we've never had a woman reoffend while they've been living in Craine House since 1978.
The clients that we have at Craine House are ones that I don't worry too much about. I generally think, okay, we've got them at Craine House. They have a good chance for success.
That's where Craine House really shines out as a shining star within the criminal justice system. When you look at programs that frequently have recidivism rates of 40% to 60%, and then you look at Craine House, which has consistently been under 20%, and you're saying, now there's a program that we ought to be doing all over the country, and why aren't we doing more of it? People want to see a program that works. And so whether you do it through your volunteer effort, through your money, you know you have an opportunity to support a program that has been successful in the past.
A lot of the things that the women face, they feel like they face them alone. And it's kind of up to all of us, whether it's a staff member or a volunteer or a funder, to let them know that's not the case.
To have people fund other programs like this is to begin to tell the story of the impact of how many families helped by programs like this could help an entire community. It does kind of come down to it's one family at a time.
I want to own my own bin station. I want to know that I'm making my kids earn their money and their car and their college education or whatever, but knowing that they're never going to have to be in that life that I was in. In 10 years, I want to be able to take a vacation with my family and know that we're going to be okay.
If I wouldn't have came to the Craine House, I'd still have been doing my time in jail and probably wouldn't have went back to crime. So this is a great place.